This actually my first question is to Dr. P.V. Sharma. Dr. Sharma, NEP 2022 has received many very positive feedback at the policy level, but there is some criticism as well about how institutions can implement NEP 2020. Dr. Sharma, you have a very wide experience of 50 years of both working at ministry level as well as running large state and private universities, and currently as a VC of Amity University, Gurugram. My question to you is follows. NEP 2020 emphasizes shift in the skills such as creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, and lifelong learning. In addition, there is a lot of importance given to value-based teaching. What changes, my question to you is as follows. What changes in the curriculum design will need to be made to accommodate these skills? And what process the institutions will have to implement to dynamically and frequently align the program design to suit these needs?
Great privilege to be part of this very distinguished panel, and thank you, Mr. Ajay Bhagwat-ji, for asking such an important question, a searching question. And we need to answer this question to the best of our ability, to ourselves, to our institutions, and to the vast body of higher education to which we belong to. The new education policy, like any other policy in the past, has focused its attention to what has been said in the opening remarks on competency-based education, on outcome-based education, and they have also echoed the sentiments for value-based education. Keeping the tripod of competency-based, outcome-based, and value-based education, the policy also puts its emphasis on creating what is most important today. Today, it's very important to create the innovative and creative abilities in the students who come to the universities and colleges in our country. Creativity and innovativeness has suddenly become very important, and we are realizing the great gains which nations like ours can reap from the rise of creativity and innovation in plenty from the billions of minds which we have here and around the world. So having said this, let me say that creativity and innovativeness requires critical thinking. Critical thinking is absolutely essential. Unfortunately, in the past, our emphasis was more on assimilating the vast body of knowledge, not so much on critical thinking, not so much on causing innovativeness within the campuses of the university. We thought that the mundane responsibility of the learned teachers is to translate and transfer much of the knowledge of the textbooks to the minds of our students. And we thought that this knowledge will take them throughout their professional life, make them relevant to the community, to the industry, to the corporate. But today, we are in a very different set of terms. We belong to a new era today. We call it new age of knowledge and innovation. And the education sector, like any other sector of economy, is also under tremendous pressure to align its entire strategic framework today to cause an upsurge of creativity, critical thinking, collaborative aptitude and attitude, and on top of that, of course, lifelong learning. And therefore, it's very important for us to realize what can be done for implementing NEP, these four aspects, through the curriculum design and curriculum delivery. In my opinion, much of this has begun to happen. When I joined Amity University after superannuation from Delhi Technological University as its Vice-Chancellor, I found that one of the major reforms which we made in our curriculum design was to create an era of openness, an era of flexibility in the design of curriculum, allowing students also to have tremendous amount of space for self-learning and for learning in a manner that they are able to spend more time for critical thinking, collaborative learning, collaborative research, and also give an upsurge to creativity and innovation. I started selling the idea that culture of innovation, culture of collaborative learning, culture of deep learning, culture of team teaching, and culture of team learning has to become a reality in the campuses of the university. Now, as far as NEP is concerned, any policy can mandate what it can, and I'm sure the document is the very best we could get, but it all depends how do we go about implementing it. I asked my grandchildren, two of them are studying in America. One of them is at the school level, another one at the university level, that what major change has come in 2020, 2020 bracket 1 and 2020 bracket 2 now. And the answer both of them gave that much of the learning is being called outside the classroom. Nobody is teaching us. They are, if at all they're teaching, they are teaching very little. Rather, they are instigating us, inspiring us to use our mind to learn what we should and go in a manner that we are able to develop critical thinking, creativity, innovativeness, and on top of that, of course, become champions of the cause of self-learning and lifelong learning. This major shift has occurred in the way curriculums are designed and curriculums are delivered. And being in India, my submission to the panel today is must really submit to this cause of openness, creating more space for self-learning, collaborative learning, even in the classroom, creating an environment of team learning. And this is possible today in an environment of technology-enabled learning in which we have already entered to. Having said this, let me say very clearly that the emphasis on value-based learning, apart from critical learning, innovativeness, and creativity, nurturing creativity, the value-based learning primarily is asking us to understand the value and worth of what our forefathers have said in the past. They said an educated man is judged not by the body of knowledge or volume of knowledge or the depth of knowledge he possesses, but the levels of integrity, personal and professional morality, and the work ethics which he practices during his lifetime. And the time has come today to overscore the importance of integrity, because ultimately integrity matters. People of integrity matters today in the digital age. And if we do not serve this cause of nurturing creativity, innovativeness, collaborative learning, lifelong learning, alongside with personal and professional integrity, professional morals and work ethics, the whole effort of investment in education would fail. We will have an insane society which will be highly educated, but would perhaps not practice at all any knowledge for the benefit of larger collective good of the humanity for which knowledge is required to be practiced. And therefore, the value-based education, in my opinion, has to find a space in the campuses of the university, in the classrooms, outside the classrooms also, and we have to find ways of nurturing character and nurturing behavior, and nurturing integrity and professional morality at all levels, including our teachers as well as our students. This is the agenda, in my opinion, and it requires a serious and careful search in all corners of our university to create new spaces for the new requirement which have so well emerged. Let me finish by saying, as far as your first question is concerned, that it's not just the policy which matters. What matters is the kind of commitment and resolve people like us sitting on the chairs of authority of the vice-chancellors, of directors of the institution. Even I was very happy to see the title Chief Executive Officer of the institution have that commitment to implement the kind of change which is required today. And if we fail in our responsibility to cause this openness and create spaces which are so important for the newer aspects, higher education in India would continue to lag behind. The world is taking note of it, and I can assure you they are implementing the change with speed and ease through the strength of their breakthrough and speed leadership qualities. We need to create such champions of the cause in the chairs of the authority as well as those who are sitting on judgment in our institutions. So I thought I must put this on the plate straight away before the learned panel that we can do it, we should do it, and we must commit ourselves with a firm resolve to do it at the earliest possible. Now that we are assembling today on the eve of the 72nd Republic of our great nation, in the year when we are celebrating what they have called the Amrit Mahotsav of our Azadi. And therefore, I think the biggest Azadi which is required today in the higher education sector is to cause this major departure in the way we go around putting together our curriculum or deliver it in the classroom. Let much more learning outside the classroom occur. Let there be much greater collaborative learning, integration of learning along with the research, and also innovativeness of the kind that is required to be created by learning not only to know, but learning to do. And we must also not forget the importance of learning to live together in peace and harmony, which requires both value-based education for creating a peaceful and compassionate society, and also a society which practices personal integrity, professional morals, and professional integrity of the kind which the digital age requires. I thought I must stop at this point because I can give you 1 hour lecture on this, but that's not required for a panel like this. We are a highly learned group here, and I'm sure all the enlightened participants, they have their own idea. Solution could not be what Professor Sharma says alone. It has to be the collective wisdom of the educators of this country. But it must require, as I said, a firm resolve and commitment to cause that vital change which is required. Thank you so much indeed. Thank you, Mr. Ajay.